fans. I've got the unofficial mayor / official, whatever you'd like to call him, Skip Bayless to my left. Stephen A. Smith. You've contaminated this crowd. You hear them Spurs in 6. Joining me now, though, good friend, Miami Heat picker, Chris Broussard, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for him.
Welcome.
So, Chris, much like Stephen A., you were at the game last night, and you heard our first debate. What happened with LeBron?
Well, first of all, let me say I'm overjoyed for my longtime friend Skip Bayless.
Why is that?
Because this is 2 years of pent-up frustration where you had to hold your tongue about LeBron and give him his props. And now you get to
What about the end of Game 6 last year when he came completely unglued?
Well, he hit that three-pointer. I remember
I know,
that.
but he had
that
3 turnovers in the last 6 minutes, and he missed the shot to tie.
And they won the game, so you were limited.
Exactly.
I know, but
this is the first time you've been unbridled and released.
I just react to what I see.
But I'll say this.
Oh, God.
The thing is, Skip, it sounded to me like your criticism is not really of LeBron. It's of, I guess, the Heat training staff or whoever is in. He's not a doctor. Whoever's in charge of making sure he's hydrated,
But
getting
you
him
play ball,
IVs
Chris.
at
You
halftime
just
or whatever.
learn early you have to do this.
You don't know as a player. You rely on your training, your staff.
How
all
many
these
years has
guys.
he played now? What is
Well,
it? Are we
Stephen
to
A.
10
hit
or
on the
11?
head. He has a history of cramping. We don't even know if it was the heat because he's cramped in regular conditions. I was there in 2009 against Orlando in the playoffs. He cramped. We know Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
He
Game
cramped.
4.
Detroit in 2007. He cramped. So clearly he has a history with this. And you haven't heard one athlete, one professional athlete say they could play through that.
Okay, on Game 4 when he cramped, then Stephen A., you and I were on SportsCenter before Game 5. And you were making the case he might be hurt, like he might have a calf injury, and he might not be able to go in Game 5.
That was when he was struggling because he was limping or whatever the case may be. But the point is, there's a difference between that and cramping. He's never been shy, and he's never hid when he's hurt.
So was he hurt in Game 4, or was he cramping in Game 4?
Well, I'm
talking about 2012.
Yeah, I think there are different levels of cramping. And I think clearly this appeared to be more severe. Maybe it was the cramping in combination with the heat or whatever. But you can't, this is the thing. We've seen LeBron struggle in the finals before. Even last year, he was hesitant at times, admitted himself he had doubts about his jump shot. Last night, you saw none of that.
Nope.
He was playing tremendously. Even his last play, he goes aggressively the hole, scores. The three-pointer he hits in the corner.
It was a big-time three. I would agree.
So you can't, this isn't something where you can say, oh, the pressure got to him or this or that. I think his body just failed him at obviously an inopportune time. Even Isaiah Thomas told Yahoo, who played through maybe the best performance ever in finals history. 25 points in the third quarter on that bad ankle.
Although I think Michael's flu game was up there with it. But go ahead.
Look, I don't want to diminish what Michael did, but like Stephen A. said, a flu, an ankle, that's different than if your body is cramped up and you just really can't move.
Here's all you need to know. And this is the point that I didn't bring up earlier. There was a play when LeBron James went in. I forget whether he missed or made the layup. But San Antonio was running back down the court on offense, and he stood on the baseline. And they had to come get him. Now, I'm going to ask you this question.
That was the layup.
I think that was when he tried to block Duncan?
No. He was on offense. Went to layup and then stood on the baseline while San Antonio's offense went. What I'm saying to you is, does LeBron James not get back on defense? When have we ever seen that? We don't see that. He always, if nothing else, he gets back on defense. A matter of fact, when you're on a break, you're looking for LeBron because one of the things he specializes in is coming out of nowhere to block your shot, particularly on a break. So what I'm saying to you is that the fact that he wasn't even willing to get back on defense, and you had Dwayne Wade of all people with all of his injuries that he's had to deal with over the last couple of years, literally telling them, come get him, come get him. Listen, it's just one of those situations that's bad. It was inescapable. It's undeniable. I'm not talking about the series. LeBron James at his best with the Miami Heat, they could still lose to San Antonio regardless of what we're picking. But there's no denying that those cramps crippled him and just eviscerated the chances
Chris,
of the
help
Heat
me
winning
out
the
with
game.
this because you know this man very well. 7.5 minutes left. LeBron misses a three over from the wing. Dial ran at him. He missed it. And then as the play went on back to the other end, he immediately turned to Spoelstra and says, "Take me out, coach." To me, this is just me, because he's such a great player and such a good guy, this is showing a little bit of melodramatic mental weakness. Nobody does that. He made such a show of, "Take me out, coach." And it was more because he was gassed at that point than cramping. I didn't see cramps yet. I don't like that for his sake. It doesn't look good to your teammates. I don't think it looks good to fans everywhere, because big-time superstar players don't react that way. "Coach, I'm gassed. Take me out." And he makes such a big display out of it. It just drives me a little crazy, because I don't not like him.
Yeah.
I'm fine when he plays great. I am. I come in and say, "Boy, that was a great game by LeBron." And he did some great things last night, but when his team needed him most, I don't get that kind of behavior. It's melodramatic to me.
I mean, if he's really, whether he was cramping, I know there were players saying they heard him say he couldn't breathe at times last night.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Different
if it was
issue.
fatigue.
Yeah. All right.
I remember looking at him maybe just 5 minutes into the game, and he was down on his shorts. He looked like he was spent. And I was like, wow, this is early. I didn't even know at that point that the air conditioner
Have we not
was
seen
off.
3 or 4 games even this playoff run when he looked a little mentally gassed?
Well, no,
'Cause
no.
he's had
I don't
to
know
do
about
so
mentally.
much.
I just thought
I think
physically.
Okay, either way.
Physically,
Either way.
Physically
physically, he's looked gassed. He's had to carry a huge role. He's been asked to do everything in terms of playing multiple positions, which is one of the reasons he's considering leaving Miami, because he ain't trying to stay in a
Okay.
situation where he's being asked to do so much. Not that he's going to end up leaving, because I'm still betting my money on him staying. But in the end, when you're asked to do so much and you're looking at the second part of your
I agree with
career,
that.
you got to think,
Yep.
you got to take those things into consideration. But all I'm saying to you is this: still in all, when you look at it, cramping is cramping.
It
and
is.
we can talk
I'll buy
about
that.
well, you know what, he's demonstrative or whatever. Well, you know what? If there's ever a reason to be demonstrative, is when you're cramping. It's not like you sit there and twist your ankle. Come save me. You know what I'm saying? When you cramping, but when you're cramping, you feel like that. You're like, Lord have mercy,
Right.
somebody help me. I can't move. I mean, it's really paralyzing. It's what happened to him.
And look,
What happened?
I can't say, nobody can say definitively that the Heat would have won that game.
I believe
but
they
I
would.
don't think you can say definitively they would have lost that game. They're up 2 when LeBron first goes out. He comes back in, or they're up 4. He comes back in, they're down 2. When he leaves the game for good, they're down 2. Spurs go on a 16-3 run. Danny Green, who LeBron had been guarding for much of the game, no field goals through
Right.
3 quarters.
Fair.
He scores all 11 of his points in the 4th quarter when LeBron's out in a 3-minute
Oh, by the way,
stretch.
Skip, I forgot to bring this up. He was guarding Danny Green. But you know what happened? Manu Ginobili comes off the bench, hits 2 threes. All of a sudden, LeBron's guarding him. Then Manu doesn't score, but Marco Bellinelli
That's
comes
right.
and scores 8 points. Then
right.
LeBron is on him. So I'm just saying, let's remember this isn't Kevin Durant, the scoring machine. This is LeBron James, the all-purpose dude. Whatever you need, I can fix your problem. And he wasn't there when it counted most.
You know what I do love about this conversation? You know what team is now going to feel slighted going to game 2?
Oh, okay.
My San Antonio Spurs.
Spurs.
Because they're going to hear all this talk. They're going to hear that, if LeBron had finished the game, you guys had no chance of winning.
Hold on. I would like to make this point. You and all your little compatriots over here.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something.
Thank you.
Allow me to say, Mayor of San Antonio, allow me to say in front of all of y'all, this is what makes y'all look weak.
Oh, boy.
You want every little advantage that you can get. If you're the best, you should want dudes at their best. So when you win, there is no doubt. As opposed to you, I'm hoping this guy gets hurt. I'm hoping that guy can't play. I want San Antonio to get here. Which is what you've been doing for months.
I had to go into last year's finals with Tony Parker with a pulled hamstring. Did I hear you say, you guys weren't at full strength? The Spurs weren't at full
Dwayne
strength?
Wade was banged up last year, too.
All
That's
right.
why.
And speaking of Dwayne Wade, I'm glad you brought him up. His start last night was breathtaking
Yeah.
for me.
Yes, it was.
I was saying, that guy is back.
Didn't
that
miss a
D-Wade
shot
guy.
in warm-ups.
Oh,
Didn't miss a
hey,
shot.
He was so explosive. He looked so healthy. And I must admit, I'm sitting there thinking, I might be in trouble tonight because of that guy.
Right.
Down the stretch, your X factor, Chris Bosh, who also made some big-time shots in that game.
But not late.
Bosh, D-Wade, late? Nope, weren't there when they needed him most, because they still have a pretty good team without LeBron James. It's still pretty good.
But it throws you off when you're used to playing through this guy all the time, and then he's not there. And it's against the Spurs. You know, it's not against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Spurs started moving the ball well. They were on fire as far as hitting jump shots, and they moved so many players around offensively that I think I'm not ready to make a blanket statement that Dwayne and Bosh couldn't carry them or can't carry them when LeBron's out. It was one game. Exactly. It was just one game.
Hold on quickly before he gets out of here. After what you saw last night, he's still going with the Heat. You and I talked about this.
I don't change my pick. I stick with my pick. Heat in 6.
6? Also, wait. That means the Heat have to win. Help me with the math here.
4 out of the next 5.
You something,
They would have won. I'm 80%, 85% sure they would have won last night if LeBron had played. They came here for a split.
Ain't no 85% for me. The Heat would have won the daggone game last night.
I am 100% sure the Spurs would have won if LeBron had played last night.
We leave it there. Give it up for Chris Broussard. At the pick'em board. 3 chips for you guys.